So before I begin the video, I just want to say there are going to be no screamers or jump scares featured in this video. I will be showing the screamer faces, but they're going to be zoomed out, kind of like how I did in my GTA Myth video I made in 2024 on my main channel. Do you believe in ghosts and you want to see proof they exist? Watch this video. Check out this baby who swears. Now I know some of you will instantly distrust me upon saying that because it's a very common screamer tactic, but I know many people don't like that kind of stuff and I kind of get it. But anyway, hope you enjoy this video and let's get straight into it. So screamers, they defined a massive part of 2000's internet culture. And screamers are a bit of a weird thing for me. Back in the day, I really fucking hated them. I dreaded seeing them. But nowadays I feel weirdly nostalgic for them and actually genuinely do miss them. Screamers were absolutely everywhere. It's always a matter of when you encountered one rather than if. That is how widespread and unpredictable they were. During that era of the internet, you would always get jump scared sooner or later. And I don't want to sit here and just talk about the same 4 screamers everybody's spoken about: Kayfie, The Maze, What's Wrong and Ghost Chair. Mostly because everybody's spoken about the 4 screamers I mentioned just to absolute death. But to be fair, they're also the most iconic ones by far, and even the lone individual jump scares were often cut and reused in plenty of other screamers as well. Like the amount of times I've seen Reagan McNeil outside of the original Maze screamer, I'm practically on a first name basis with her at this point. And while screamers do predate YouTube a fair bit, especially thanks to that Winter Road site, most of my experiences with screamers kinda stem from YouTube, rather than Winter Road or Newgrounds or whatever. It's actually weird in a way. Like when I was younger, I loved going on all those flash sites and watching random videos and playing all kinds of games. So how I avoided them is a complete mystery to me. According to the Screamer Wiki, Newgrounds implemented some strict guidelines on that stuff, so maybe that's why. I really don't know. But yeah, with the rise of screamer pranks, people loved getting their friends or family to come and play a game of Where's Wally to catch their reactions and have a good laugh at someone else's expense. And because of the nature of YouTube, essentially opening the doors to anyone and everyone to make their own videos on anything you want, and also because TV shows like Who's Been Framed and America's Funniest Home Videos were primetime entertainment, you yourself could easily record funny videos for the world to see. Maybe get your sister to come play this maze game and record a reaction. And people absolutely loved these kind of videos. They were genuinely funny and pretty much the earliest kind of reaction content out there. And I'd argue it really did increase the popularity of screamers. You've seen this one 11-year-old prank his 74-year-old nan with one, so why not do the same? Get your dad and get him to come and play Spot the Difference. But plenty of other people just wanted to make their own screamers too. And screamers arguably blew up in popularity because anybody with access to Windows Movie Maker could create one, which was pretty much everybody who was running Windows XP or newer. You didn't need to learn how to use Flash, just Google scary pictures and download a scream sound, put it into Movie Maker, and you have yourself a screamer prank. And one of the biggest reasons people hated screamers were because they were in videos that had absolutely nothing to do with scary content at all, but they threw in random screamers in there for the sheer hell of it. And I think these were probably some of the worst ones. Because while they were very prominent on videos supposedly showing the existence of ghosts or aliens or whatever, at least when you're watching a video based on ghosts, you kind of expect to get scared. Ghosts, zombies, aliens, vampires, they're scary to many people. So while it may not have been the same thing as say watching a horror film, you were kind of on the edge of your seat. Am I about to see the existence of vampires? Then yeah, that gets thrown straight up in your face. So the scare was quite effective. On completely random videos, not so much. They even catch you off guard even more than usual, like one that done me in was some singing Mario Head video. That really old ass meme from like 2008. I don't remember what song he was singing, but I remember it was a fine video. It delivered on the title. It was Mario singing, only for it to fade out after the song had ended. It was a blank screen for about 5 seconds and then suddenly an edited picture of that guy from Leave Britney Alone popped up with a really loud ass scream, then the video ended. In fact, I tried searching for that video and I couldn't find it, so it's probably lost media, which to be fair, a lot of really old screamers are. But another one that caught me off guard was this video on some bungee jump. But if my memories are correct, the guy was on top of a white bridge, ready to jump, not in a I'm gonna kill myself kind of way, but there's a cameraman behind him, and there's also a crowd below, so it was clearly some kind of public event. But then just as the guy jumped off the bridge, the Kayfie zombie popped up. Those made me really paranoid of screamers because I was not expecting it on videos like that of all things. A Mario video and a bungee jump video. People could not be trusted on YouTube at all. In fact, if you were to check the Screamer Wiki, you'll see just how many seemingly innocent videos alone were screamers. They appeared in glitch showcases for Mario Kart, you had them coming up in lyric videos, you had them appearing in advertisements, it was a literal minefield. You had no idea if the video you were watching was going to be a rickroll or a screamer or something legitimate. Now at that point I was no stranger to screamers. In fact, the very first screamer I ever fell for was on the video GTA San Andreas Bear found. This one even mentioned it was a screamer in the description. At the time, however, I didn't know what the hell a screamer even was. And at the same time, I had just gotten GTA San Andreas, so I was looking up videos of this new game I was enjoying. And as I watched on, my eardrums got blown out by this weird demon picture and some laid ass rock music. But still, this was my introduction into screamers. And as an avid fan of GTA myths back then, I had many encounters with them in this genre of video alone. If you want to know the first real screamer I encountered, it wasn't even on the internet. It was in Courage the Cowardly Dog in that Violin Girl segment in the episode Courage in the Big Stinking City. That one part scared the absolute shit out of me when I was 6. Every single time that episode aired, as soon as it got to the part with Courage running up the stairs, I would reach for that remote and change channels for about 3 minutes. By today's standards, of course, it's really not that bad, it's actually quite funny to look at. But at age 6, this was terrifying. But to go back to YouTube for a moment, all this stuff made people very distrusting of the site. Like as a whole, the effects it had on people's ability to trust random people was astonishing. People would rush to watch videos on mute and then check the comments beforehand, or skim to the end to see if a scary face was awaiting them. We didn't even have skimming back then, so if you were unsure if a video you were watching was safe or not, you just had to accept the fact that skipping to the end may have just had the Exorcist girl waiting for you. I actually believe I may have developed some kind of screamer sense in a way. Like whenever somebody wanted to show me anything, I always kind of got a bit cautious that it had to be a jump scare. Mostly because of the urgency that I had to see this video, and the person who wanted to show me it had to be there to see me watch it. Like, why do you need to see my reaction so badly? And I know I said I wasn't going to cover Kathy, but somebody at school tried that one on me. Because we had our own school issue laptops that we carried around with us for most of the day. And I remember at one lunchtime he was so adamant that I had to watch his car video. Like right now I had to watch it because it was too funny. And I remember being so cautious of that because the dead giveaway was this guy wasn't my friend. He wasn't somebody I hated, but someone who was more of a casual acquaintance, I guess you could say. He was in the year above as well. It's weird in a way, like had it been one of my friends who told me to watch it, I probably would have done it no questions asked. But another screamer prank that I was extremely cautious of was Mob of the Dead on Black Ops 2. Because on that zombie map there was a jump scare they added, where if you went to the rooftop with a sniper and you zoomed in on the fireworks, a screamer pops up. So when the map was new, people thought it'd be funny to tell unsuspecting people that there was a free perk or as a part of the main Easter egg or whatever. And I remember somebody telling me that I needed a sniper for an Easter egg. And when I went to the roof, they were telling me to zoom on the fireworks. If my memories serve me correctly, I think they said there was something I needed to shoot and it would give me a free perk. I vaguely remember being like, I don't trust this, and the guy was like, do it, you need to do it quick, you need to do it for a free perk. And I remember quickly just looking on my phone for Mob of the Dead fireworks or something similar like that, and it came back with all these jump scare videos, and I was vindicated in my skepticism. Granted, there's only a split-second jump scare, but my instincts were right and that's all I really care about. Now, I have a bit of a confession to make, because I was also the kind of guy who sent screamers off to people. And one I have very strong memories of is when I used to play COD Zombies with this guy from Ireland over Xbox Live. But one day I remember I was playing Kino de Toe and he joined the party, and I told him there's this cool Google trick. If you went to Google and typed in rumov001.swf and then hit I'm feeling lucky, it'd take you to something. I can't remember what I said because this is going back like about 12 years at this point. But I remember he did it, and I remember him screaming when he did it, and the volume from the webpage was that loud you could hear the screaming from the webpage too. And then he started swearing at me while I was laughing at his reaction. And if you're wondering what this RUMOV001 thing is, it loads up some screaming picture of some vampire woman from the movie Fright Night, I think it is, that fills your screen and constantly zooms in and out at a very rapid pace. You get no warning, it just pops up instantly. Yeah, I was a bit of an arsehole when it came to sending screamers off to people, but it was part of the culture back then. People sent screamers, people got pranked by them. It was the circle of life, I guess you could say. Now, over time, of course, screamers just naturally died down. I guess people grew a bit tired of the fad. And I'd say it was around 2012 or so is when screamers really started to die out properly, because by then it was too predictable for when they'd occur on YouTube. And to be fair, screamers have made resurgences over the years. In the form of that ear raping content back in 2016, where videos would be really, really quiet, and then, you know, they just put it up to maximum volume to kind of scare you. Many of these didn't actually have like screamer pictures per se, but they always startled you anyway. And then I think in 2019 there's also that void meme trend going around. But yeah, screamers are nowhere near as popular as they once were, and YouTube is much more safer for that stuff nowadays than it was back in say 2010. The odds of you running into a random screamer nowadays are really low. The last screamer I nearly fell for on YouTube was a video on a supposed Easter egg on Nuketown Zombies in 2022. The dead giveaway on this one was the video was like less than a minute long, and just as the camera was slowly zooming in on the mannequin, my instincts kicked in, muted, paused, skipped straight to the end, oh, screamer. But I'd say those kind of screamers we just spoke about were social screamers, you know. Screamers that people made to scare other people, you getting a friend or family member to fall for them. But what about screamers that were involved in advertisements on TV or YouTube? And yes, I know kayfabe was for coffee, but I'm not talking about that one because it's not the only screamer ad out there. While it was common for people to develop some kind of screamer sense for YouTube, when it came to adverts it was way harder to detect them and way harder to avoid. Now there's two in particular that I really like, that I want to talk about, and both of these are actually lost media. But in summer 2013, screamers started appearing on Adult Swim. They started appearing in promos of comedy shows like Family Guy, as a split-second kind of scare. That alone generated a lot of controversy for people, and people online really hated it. The Adult Swim subreddit was full of pissed off people, so were the forums. So what did Adult Swim do? Well, they tripled down on this tactic. As the summer went on, these scares got longer and worse over time, because as it turned out it was an ad campaign for the show The Holler. I've never seen this show and it really doesn't look like something I'd be interested in, but this screamer campaign is something I remember quite well. But the ads kind of went from these random split-second jump scares to just the character Mimor, I believe the name is, just staring, laughing and spitting blood. Now one of these is actually really fucking creepy and has like 8 seconds and one picture of its existence. Like, as of making this video, the full ad has not been found, and this is it. Don't worry, if you don't want to see it, I'll put a timestamp on screen now. Now I don't have any proof of what I'm about to say, but I know there must have been a few people who woke up to that at like 1 AM in the morning. Hell, in 2018 I once fell asleep to some true crime stories while I was watching YouTube on my TV. I woke up at 2 AM and it was showing some fucking terrifying static phase, and that nearly did me in. I even took a picture of it on my old iPhone. Let alone having something like that laughing at me. Like honestly, if I woke up at 2 AM and I saw that laughing at me, I probably would have jumped out the window, ran down the nearest church and got a priest to perform an exorcism. But the entire ad campaign was just restricted to Adult Swim, thankfully. But when it first started and people were really confused on what the hell was going on, it made me really paranoid about what was going on, just in case a screamer appeared on other TV networks like Sky One or ITV. But another one of these that was even more viral and removed insanely quick was the ads for the movie The Nun in 2018. Now these ads were very short. They were like about 6 seconds, and they all followed a bait and switch kind of tactic. Like they'd pretend to be something else and then quickly cut to the nun screaming. Now all of these, excluding one, are lost. The only one that's been found takes on the appearance of an iOS volume slider going down. Then the nun appears and screams at you. Now other lost ads they claimed they had fake buffering, or the spinning beach ball of death found on Apple Macs. Now the thing is, these adverts appeared everywhere on YouTube. People saw them on videos for makeup tutorials, sports videos, children's content, and in some hilariously malicious twist, relaxation videos like ASMR and nature sounds. And the backlash was extremely hard on this one. YouTube themselves had to step in and remove the ads after like a day or two. It's probably why most of all the other ads according to the Screamer wiki are completely lost. Now jump scares as a whole are actually still quite popular, believe it or not. Now, I know I said earlier that screamers died down, but jump scares and screamers are two different things. Allow me to explain what I mean. Because of the likes of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I believe also Poppy's Playtime, but I'm even less familiar with that one. But one massive difference is the screamers from, say, the mid-2000s internet were always done in a slightly malicious way. You know, like say you'd be watching a video of Mario, then bam, screamer. But when you're watching a video on Five Nights at Freddy's or playing the game or a fan game or whatever, you pretty much expect the jump scares because it's all part and parcel of the Five Nights at Freddy's series. It's really not the same as watching a video on, say, Guitar Hero, then a vampire pops up for no reason. The golden age of screamers has long been over, and they mostly exist as a traumatic yet nostalgic memory for kids who grew up in the 2000s. And I think it speaks volumes to how iconic these were, when all you have to do is show somebody a green hill or level 3 of the maze for the memories to come crawling back. And with that, I think I've spoken long enough about screamers. Do you have any screamers you remember? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching and have a great day.